Namaste friends. In previous lecture, I concluded discussion with cooling of engine. Cooling of engine is very essential for its proper working. In this lecture, I would be talking to you about engine lubrication. This also plays a very important role in the working of engine. An engine has a number of parts that are moving and are in contact with each other. Material of these parts wear under such situation. Let us try to understand the wear process that occurs in these materials. Wear process. Even well machined surfaces and polished ground metal surfaces may have unevenness. This unevenness is in the form of peaks and valleys. This unevenness is termed as microscopic, as it can be realized only in microscopic view. However, it exists. An approximate representation of this unevenness is shown in the diagram that presents two surfaces in nominal contact. It may be noticed that peaks represented by P in red that are due to roughness hold these apart. Some of the peaks P weld together due to pressure. Few peaks are penetrating into valleys V in blue opposite to them. Both these situations cause resistance to sliding action. To overcome resistance, metal has to be sheared. Sliding motion would be possible only after that. This will cause wearing of surfaces. With sliding motion, peaks rub with each other, causing generation of heat that melts peaks and fill valleys. That makes surfaces smoother. That is why friction is reduced at later stage with motion. Therefore, static limiting friction is more than kinetic friction. This explains wear process. Wear can be reduced by introducing a material in between these rubbing surfaces. This material should have lower coefficient of friction as compared to rubbing materials. Coefficient of friction is characteristic of material. Dry type friction. This type of friction occurs between sliding surfaces that are dry. Frictional resistance depends upon load applied and coefficient of friction of material. Frictional resistance does not depend upon the area of contact. In the beginning, as motion starts, this resistance is high. This goes on decreasing as sliding speed increases. Continuous sliding generates a lot of heat. This is as per explanation made before. Movement of piston rings in cylinder is one such example in internal combustion engines where it occurs. Boundary friction. In this case, there is no continuous film of lubricant between rubbing surfaces. Insufficient lubricant exists between them. This causes partial metal to metal contact. This situation occurs under heavy loading. Effectiveness of lubricant depends upon two properties. These are number 1 film strength and number 2 lubricity. Film strength is the time taken by the film to break and become discontinuous. Lubricity is the property of lubricant that it remains in contact with the metal surface even under drastic loading. This ensures that some lubricant remains in contact with metallic surface even when film has squeezed out. This is possible when molecules of lubricant have strong physical or chemical bond with metal surface. In IC engine, cams and followers experience such friction. Viscous friction. Frictional resistance comes into existence in the metallic surfaces that are in contact with each other and have relative motion. To overcome frictional resistance, lubricants are used. These lubricants form layer between rubbing surfaces and prevent metal to metal contact. This reduces friction between rubbing surfaces. To achieve it, lubricants are required to have certain properties. Most important being viscosity. Viscosity is the measure of fluid's resistance to flow. A fluid with low viscosity flows easily. The reason is that there is very little friction between molecules when it flows. Common example of such fluid is water. On the other side, fluids with high viscosity do not flow easily. All the lubricating oils are example of such fluids. The unit of viscosity is Newton second per meter square. It is expressed as Pascal second in SI units. Absolute viscosity is the ratio of shear stress between two surfaces of equal area to rate of shear. In case of engine lubrication, kinematic viscosity is an important parameter. It is equal to absolute viscosity divided by density of lubricant at given temperature. Viscosity changes with temperature. With increase in temperature, viscosity decreases. This creates a problem when lubricant is used in an engine. As the engine starts, initially it is at low temperature, but gradually its temperature increases. Generally, in case of engines, lubricant has to work under high temperature conditions. It is desirable that with increase in temperature, viscosity of lubricant is least affected. This parameter is measured in terms of viscosity index or VI. High viscosity index means that with rise in temperature, viscosity is least affected. Society of Automotive Engineers SAE has standardized lubricants. There are monograde lubricants and multigrade lubricants. Monograde lubricants have small range of temperature within which their viscosity remains constant. These are graded as SAE 20, SAE 30, SAE 40, etc. These are suitable for hot climatic conditions. For cold climatic conditions, lubricants are graded as SAE 20W, SAE 30W or SAE 40W. Suffix W indicates that they are suitable for cold climatic conditions. Multigrade lubricants can be used in variable climatic conditions. These are represented as SAE 10W-30 for example. This means that lubricant has grade 10 in cold climatic conditions and grade 30 in hot climatic conditions. These are suitable for cold as well as hot climatic conditions. Corrosive wear. When engine is started in the morning, it is possible that water vapors condense over the walls of cylinder. These vapors may have corrosive substances. This causes corrosion in cylinder. Corrosion causes formation of debris. Piston rings run in almost dry cylinder initially. Debris trapped between piston rings and walls of cylinder cause abrasive effect. This causes rapid wearing of piston rings and cylinder. Cams and overhead walls are some other components that are affected seriously. It is required that lubricants used have low viscosity initially. It should spread fast between rubbing surfaces as engine starts. This helps in reducing friction. On the other side, alloying cylinder material and chrome plating it helps in reducing wear. Lubricating oils. These are used to lubricate the components of IC engine that are in movement against each other. These contribute in dissipating heat generated due to friction. Lubricants wash out contaminants and hold them in suspension for their removal at later stage. Lubricants also take away particles that are removed due to friction. These lubricants also protect metallic components from corrosion. Vegetable oils. These oils have been used for long time in past. These had high film strength and lubricity. Only drawback was that their viscosity had limited range. These also produced gums and lacquers under stress. Therefore, engines using them required regular cleaning. In present times, mineral oils have replaced them. Mineral oils. These are most commonly used lubricating oils. These are provided with additives. Additives play an important role in imparting certain properties to these oils. One of them is improving their viscosity index. These also act as friction modifier and anti-foaming agents. These also act as oxidation and corrosion inhibitors for these oils. Semi-synthetic lubricants. These are blends of synthetic base oil and mineral oil. Most of the oils that are used in these days fall under this category. Synthetic base oil provides certain properties. For example, high film strength permits the use of oil with low viscosity in cam and cam followers. In such applications, film strength is more relevant. There are synthetic lubricants also, but they are not meant for internal combustion engines. Next, I take up various lubrication systems used in internal combustion engines. Pressure lubrication. It involves use of pump to deliver lubricant at high pressure. In earlier days, pipes were used to supply lubricant to different components of engine. Later, with the development of advanced manufacturing processes, these were replaced by drilled passages and core ducts. Pump is driven by engine. Lubricant is drawn from sump and is delivered to various components that require lubrication. Strainer in sump ensures clean lubricant to components by removing insoluble impurities. Lubricant is returned to sump after lubrication for recirculation. Crankcase is provided with large duct that runs parallel to crankshaft. Lubricant is supplied to this duct. From this duct, it is supplied to main bearings through small ducts. Holes that are drilled through crank web supply lubricant to crank pins and big end bearings. Small end bearings get lubricant through passages drilled through connecting rod. Alternatively, lubricant may be splashed to small end bearings by centrifugal force. Rocker arm, if any, and end of overhead camshaft receive lubricant through duct drilled all the way to cylinder head. Rocker arm and camshafts are made hollow to provide lubricant to bearings. Supply of lubricant to valves is restricted. Excessive lubricant may enhance consumption of fuel. This can also foul spark plugs in spark ignition engines. To achieve it, either intermittent lubrication is done or lubricant is restricted in supply duct. Cylinder bores are lubricated through lubricant splash. Sump lubrication is classified as number 1 dry sump lubrication system and number 2 wet sump lubrication system. Dry sump lubrication system. These systems are meant for big engines used in heavy vehicles. Lubricant is collected in sump after lubrication. Referring to diagram, lubricant is supplied to filter through scavenging pump on left. It is filtered and insoluble impurity, if any, is removed. Clean lubricant is sent to oil tank. There is a bypass valve. If due to any reason filter is clogged and lubricant cannot pass through it, bypass valve allows the lubricant to flow directly to tank. It works only when there is some obstruction in filter. Operator is required to take corrective measure so that lubricant is passed through filter. From tank, oil pump pushes lubricant at high pressure to bearings as shown at right hand top. Lubricant passes through oil cooler. It is a heat exchanger. As shown, water acts as coolant and passes through it. Heat from lubricant is transferred to water and in process its temperature is reduced to desired level. Pressure gauge shown on right side monitors pressure in pipeline. If pressure goes beyond permissible limit, pressure relief valve comes into action and relieves pipeline of excessive pressure. Wet sump lubrication system. In this system, lubricant is stored in a sump. Therefore, it is known as wet sump lubrication system. Pump in this system also fetches lubricant from sump and delivers it to bearings and other components. Referring to diagram, sump is shown in the lowermost part. With the help of pump, oil from sump is delivered to bearings as mentioned. It passes through strainer. Strainer allows only clean lubricant to bearings. We are calling it bearings in diagram, but in fact it means bearings and all other components that require lubrication. There is a pressure regulator valve as shown. It monitors pressure in the passage. Corrective measures are taken in case pressure goes beyond permissible limit. After lubricating bearings and other components, lubricant is delivered back to sump. It passes through filter again. This is essential to remove any solid impurity that may go to sump otherwise. Rolling bearings are supplied with limited quantity of lubricant. This is essential because excessive drag may occur otherwise. Also due to excessive lubricant, churning may occur. Due to excessive drag and churning effect, heat is generated and efficiency is reduced. In case of plain bearings, it is essential to prevent metal to metal contact. Therefore, these are kept under lubricant. Lubricant is provided to annular groove on the inner surface of bearing. This is done through a hole in the shaft. Lubricant flows axially on the inner surface of bearing in both directions between rotating surfaces and provides lubrication. Hydrodynamic lubrication. Rotating shaft in bearing tends to drag oil film with it. If bearing is loaded radially, shaft is displaced eccentrically. Clearance between shaft and bearing forms a double wedge section. As rotating shaft passes into leading wedge section, it drags oil. This enhances hydraulic pressure in film. This helps in supporting load and does not allow metal to metal contact. In this manner, lubrication is provided between rotating shaft and bearing supporting it. In this lecture, I have tried to include different aspects of lubrication in internal combustion engines. I hope this makes viewers well informed. I conclude here. Thanks for watching.